can be holding the money for a certain period of time to do certain business. Okay, certain business. This is the basic structure of business trust. You can see that. The trustee manager is the one who manages the trust. Okay, the unit holder is the one who holds the unit. So any return from the underlying asset, okay, whether it is property whatsoever, will be channeled to unit trust holder. Unit holder, sorry. Will be channeled to unit holder. Right? And this asset can be a variety of asset. What it intends to serve? First, it intends to serve the nitty-gritty of demarcation between trustee and manager. That's the first one. The second one, instead of you have to establish a lot of portfolio under one company, this is unit trust, equity, whatever, now you can just put lump one together. Second one is that you don't have to only specify yourself into a equity whatsoever. It can be a lot of things under one roof of business trust. That is the intention of this. We don't have any in Malaysia so far, but we have some in Singapore. Of course not Islamic lah. We have some in Singapore. Okay. If you refer to SC website, you have the guidelines for business trust. Within that guideline, they will have a chapter on the specific requirement for Islamic business trust. These are the requirements, right? When you structure, you have to structure using certain contract which has been specified in the SC guideline. All the contract like musyarakah, mudarabah, BBA, INAH, and all those well-known contract that has been endorsed by the SAC of SC. Okay? If otherwise, you have to come back to SC. If otherwise, you have to come back to SC. Say for example, you created new contract. I mean, ukun ghair musamma. You create a new contract which is not mudarabah, not musyarakah, is mudasyakah, whatever you want to call it. A new term that you want to put it. Then you have to come back to SC, get permission and get endorsement whether that can be accepted or not. I mean, nowadays you have a lot of contract that sometimes you don't know where to put the name. Right? Make a joke one time in one of the presentation. I remember where someone asked about musyarakah mutanaqisah, where I can get this word. Any verses of Quran or Hadith, I said you will die finding. Because you never find it, because it's a new term, I said. Then acceptable? Yeah, acceptable. So if I create new contract, is it okay? Create whatever you want. Of course, I hope you put a good name to that contract. Otherwise, it's difficult for people to take it. Right? Okay. Sorry, can you change the requirement for the appointment of not IBT, appointment of Sharia advisor? I'm very sorry. Appointment of Sharia advisor. Okay. I think you are aware, in the SC guideline, when it comes to Islamic products, they have two structures. The first one is that some products, it can be endorsed by one individual Sharia only. For example, issuance of sukuk. One Sharia advisor, registered Sharia advisor, endorse the sukuk, then the sukuk can go. In some products, for example, you need to have at least 3. The wholesale fund, for example, including also the business trust fund, you need to have at least 3 individuals. Okay? 3 registered individuals to sit on the board to endorse it. So, business trust, REITs, unit trust fund, private equity, for example, the requirement is only 1. What else? Such a product is only 1. So that are the variety that you have. It's unwritten, but in that manner. For business trust fund, you need to have at least 3 for that. And so, an opinion of one Sharia advisor is not acceptable for business trust. So it requires of 3 appointment. Okay, but if a company or say for example bank, then it's fine with their Sharia committee. Okay, I think I can skip this. The responsibility of the Sharia advisor, I think, is the same requirement and the same responsibility. The normal responsibility that any Sharia advisor have to do, they have to guide, they have to audit, they have to ensure that the management, the business, and the running of the company and the fund or the trust, business trust, has to be in compliance with the Sharia. Right. Okay. These are the activities of business trust, the same activity that we have normally in the equity. There shall be no business of gambling, manufacturing of non-halal products, entertainment, and so forth and so on. Right? The same thing that you have in the screening methodology. Okay? And they also have the 5 and 10, 20% benchmark. The same like equity. The same like equity. I mean, for the time being, we don't call same like equity. they have to have 5% and 20% benchmarks. So if, say for example, the equity change, this may still remain. If this remain, equity change, the other way around can also work. So we don't we follow the equity benchmark. This is the guideline for business trust guideline, which is 5 and 20%. Okay? And at the same time also, they have the cash over the total asset, which is 33%, and debt over the total asset, which is 50%. Okay. And also that risk as well, if they acquire property, for example, they have to ensure that the takaful has to be Sharia compliant takaful. Okay, sir. Takaful is Sharia compliant anyway. Sharia compliant insurance. They have to take takaful. Unless they fail to get takaful, then only with the endorsement of the Sharia committee, then only they can obtain insurance. Okay. I missed to put another one, which is hedging instrument. If they want to hedge their position, I mean their asset and everything, they have to ensure that it is hedged according to the Sharia principle. You may use profit rate swap, you may use currency swap, you may do whatever, but in the Islamic manner. Unless you fail to get Islamic instrument, then only you can do conventional with the approval of the Sharia committee first. Okay. Right? The second one. The third one is retail sukuk. Okay, the third one is retail sukuk. Okay. This is another thing that people are working. I think you are aware that some people are now working on the agro sukuk. By pursuant to the budget last year or last 2 years. Last year, right? On the issuance of agro sukuk, some quarters are working on how to do agro sukuk. What is agro sukuk and everything. Okay. Okay, this is another new instrument in Malaysia. It is actually not new instrument. Last 2 years, the government has already issued what they call for the senior citizen Islamic bond as well. What the name of that bond? Sukuk, what? I don't remember. Sukuk what? To be subscribed only by the senior people, senior citizen. Merdeka bond, sorry, thank you, Merdeka bond. Okay. It's kind of Merdeka bond. The only difference is that Merdeka bond is traded OTC only. Merdeka bond is only traded OTC. Okay? And it is only traded through bank channel. Okay? Authorized bank channel. You can go to certain banks where you can, many of us are not qualified to subscribe to that bond. Merdeka bond. The return is much better than this anyway. That is kind of retail bond. But for this retail sukuk, the only difference are in some issues. The first one is that what? It can be subscribed by almost everybody above 18 years old. We come to that later. That's the first one. So we are also allowed and qualified to subscribe to this retail bond. The second one, retail bond, can be either listed or traded OTC. The Merdeka bond is only traded on OTC basis because you can only get through the bank channel. In this retail sukuk, based on this framework, you can either have it listed or non-listed based on that. Okay, the third one is that it is in a very small nomination, 1,000. Okay, per unit is 100, so you can buy 10 to get 1,000. So you have to buy at least 10 to get 1,000. Okay, what we call exchange traded bond and sukuk. It doesn't have to be exchange traded. It can even be OTC, but the excitement when it called exchange traded. That's the only thing. Other than that, from Sharia point of view, from whatever point of view that you want to say it is the same bond. Right? Okay. For the first phase, what happened in this particular issuance is that only the government will issue the sukuk. Okay. The second phase, the first phase has gone through. The second phase, where they will have the public listed company to issue. Okay. What is the difference between the first phase and the second phase? The first phase, the sukuk is guaranteed by the government up to 3.75%, not 100%. 3.75% of the profit. So if, say for example, the profit is more than that, that's it, doesn't matter. But it cannot be lower than 3.75. Okay? So it's kind of variable based on the market rate. However, it cannot be less than 3.75. At any time, it cannot be less than 3.75. Kind of protection that given to the people. Okay. In the second phase, it's a purely market conduct. The second phase is a purely market conduct. What it means that it will be a normal sukuk issuance, where you have all the requirement of issuance of sukuk in there. It has to be, company has to be verified, DD will come in, due diligence will come in and everything. That's a normal sukuk. And it is not guaranteed by anybody. Okay? So, that sukuk may be issued by a corporation, or it may even be issued by banking and financial institution. If they want to do Islamic, then the activities has to be Islamic activities. If they go conventional bond, then be it. Depending on that situation. Okay? Okay. But if the company is unlisted, they have to procure some sort of guarantee. If the public listed company, then it based on the normal due diligence and everything. Okay? This is the first sukuk issuance. I'm not sure whether some of you buy or not. What do you know? The dana infrasukuk. The dana infrasukuk on MRT construction. Okay? Only 300 million issued to the retail people. 1.2 still issued to the corporation. 300 million is issued for, allotted for the retail investors through IIiBF, for that matter. Okay? The profit is to be paid semi-annually. The concept that has been used is enough concept, equal murabaha, but anyway, as you know, it is actually enough concept. Be true to ourselves anyway. The purpose is to finance the MRT. The minimum subsidy, as I mentioned, is 1,000. The good of this sukuk is that the tick point is only 1 cent. If any of you involved in the what we call exchange, you know what I mean by tick point. Means that if, say for example, 100 one unit, it can be lower down 1 cent, up 1 cent only. That is the variation. Otherwise, the market will halt the trading. So, if say for example you buy 1,000, okay, 1,000, it can be up another 100 or down 100. That is only the movement of the unit.